Welcome back to Online Darts, everyone, and here we go. It's a brand new week, which means we look ahead to the Premier League again, and it is night 14 as we roll to Sheffield this week. But first of all, let's rewind, let's go back to Glasgow and have a look at what happened. And yet again, Jonny, Clayton and Michael Van Gerwen make the final, and it was the Ferret who came out on top, making a fourth win, and he guaranteed his place in Berlin. It was pretty much done anyway, but that sealed it. He is the first one to have the little Q next to his name. Look, MVG didn't play particularly well all night, just got past Joe Cullen, switched off, came back against Michael Smith, and he said it in his interview with Viaplay afterwards. Didn't really feel comfortable all night, but big 3 points for him. He's all but there as well. But the race, that fourth place, is just becoming a little interesting. Peter Wright lost first round, surprisingly, to Gary Anderson. The world champion Snakebite not in the best of nick right now. Didn't play well on the Euro Tour either. Has missed both Pro Tours just to recharge the batteries, which is totally understandable. But he's just leaving that door open a little bit. And especially with circumstances in Sheffield this week, with what looks as if it's going to happen, all of a sudden, fourth place may be on the line again. We all thought the top four was done and dusted, but maybe not. Is Peter Wright just letting the others back into contention? Well, I'll explain the scenarios in a minute, but it's looking unlikely that Gary Anderson and Michael Smith will do enough. I think it's just, if Wright is to be caught, it will be between Joe Cullen and Gezi Price. But now let's look ahead to night 14 in Sheffield. And as recording this right now, it doesn't look as if James Wade is going to play. He was taken ill in Leverkusen for the Euro Tour, was kept in hospital, and the statement released on his Twitter this morning, he's still there. So it's looking highly unlikely that James Wade will face Joe Cullen, meaning Joe Cullen goes into the semi-final. Of course, we wish James the very best and a speedy recovery. We don't know exactly what's wrong with him, just that he was taken ill, kept in. Look, it's not great for any dart player. Health always comes first. So we wish James a speedy recovery, but it doesn't look as if that's going to happen. So Joe Cullen is into the semi-finals as far as we can tell. Then the other match in that quarter will be Gary Anderson against Gezi Price. Now, I fancy Gezi to win this one. I just think that he's playing better than Gary. Yes, when Gary gets it right, it's still majestic, but getting it right is not happening enough for me right now. So in match number 2, I think Gezi books a place against Joe Cullen in the semi-final. Here's the twist, and here's where it could get interesting. Bottom half of the draw, Michael Van Gerwen faces Peter Wright. Now, if Wright loses again, that's no points. And with the other two chasing him in the table, it gets interesting. Look, MVG against Peter Wright. Right now, MVG is playing better darts than Peter Wright. But, of course, Snakebite can turn up on any given occasion, flick a switch, and we could see a big ton plus average from the world champion. But right now, I think Michael wins that game. 6-3, somewhere in and around there. Next, final game, Jonny Clayton against Michael Smith. Again, Michael Smith is playing better than what his results are suggesting. He won the first Pro Tour, Pro Players Championship 14. He decided to go and play in them and get some confidence, which is great for Bully Boy. His performance last week against MVG was good. Just that MVG found something when it really mattered. So Bully Boy is actually playing quite well, and I think he'll push Jonny Clayton this one, but I think the Ferret edges it. I think it will go close, maybe a last leg decider, but I'm going to go for the Ferret. Now, semi-finals, if we're correct, semi-final number 1 will be Joe Cullen against Gezi Price. Huge opportunity, if Peter Wright loses, to cut that gap in the table, and it could get so interesting. Look, from the ones that we've picked, I've got a semi-final of Joe against Gezi. I think Gezi gets over the line. I'd go 6-4, somewhere around there. So Gezi back into the final. And then bottom half of the draw, we get the best 2 players in World Darts clashing again. And I'm going to go for MVG because he has the darts. Only reason, they're so finely matched. We've seen that at the Euro Tour again in Leverkusen. MVG just getting the better of the Ferret. It could go either way, but I'm going to go for MVG. So Price versus MVG final. and then Price cuts the gap. Cullen has cut the gap as well. It's all very interesting. All of a sudden, the Premier League is spicing up again, which is absolutely superb. Comment below your predictions for the quarterfinals. Who do you think will make it through? It's so fascinating now. It's just sparked the interest again, which is superb. If you haven't, make sure you give us a follow on all social platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, over on TikTok now as well. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn notifications on to make sure you get notified of when we go live or a new video drops. I've been Phill Bars. Thank you very much for watching our Premier League preview in association with Ball Sports for night 14 of the Premier League.